Hey there, bibliophiles and those raising bibliophiles. I know life is busy and you don't have time to vet everything your child reads, and you want them to read, but you don't know what to give them that's clean and supports your values. In my small way, I'm here to help with an Honest Mama review. So, with that, today's book review is City Spies Golden Gate by James Ponti. So, I absolutely am on like a James Ponti kick. So this is book 2 in the City Spies series. And so if you haven't read book number 1, City Spies, again, I'm going to put another plug in for a Battle of the Books book that I had originally read several years ago. And I really enjoyed it. My students really loved it. I ended up even like getting the audio for it because I just really enjoyed it. It was a great book. And my son really has enjoyed the series. I have students who have really enjoyed the series. And I decided to kind of step back and revisit some things that I loved and read some sequels. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I get burned by sequels. Like the first one or two are great. And then as I keep reading, like now we've slid some other things in. I find the same thing happens with authors that I used to trust. And then as society has progressed and has certain leanings, we see that also appear in literature. So I love to do some of these book reviews and revisit things because I know how easy it is to be very trusting and hopeful that the literature we're giving our children to read is good and is a decent story that's full of adventure and great themes and great characters. Unfortunately, that's just not always the case. And a lot of times you can get this bait and switch situation. And I have certainly been burned by that a couple times. So I'm not expecting that from James Ponti. I have really enjoyed his books so far, and I would really recommend you check out even his website. He's got some great stuff on there about him and his family, and I just think it's really great. Anyhow, I'm going to go over this book. I plan on doing some more reviews of the other books. So as I finish this one, I've already started book 3, Forbidden City. And as soon as I finish that book 3 and book 4, I'll post a review of the two of those together. And then he has a book coming out this year that's book 5, and I'll look at those as well. So the Frame series is great for tweens. So that's like your 8 to 12 year old. Now, they can also enjoy City Spies, but the characters in City Spies are a little older. So they're around 12 to 15. And so that's really kind of your age range for this book series. So he has some mystery for youngers, and then he's got some mystery for your olders. Again, I think you could easily give these books anywhere in between, and that they're really great. So City Spies introduces the first book, all the characters. So you'll definitely want to go back and check that out or have your readers read that one first, and it sort of sets the scene. So book number 2 kind of picks up where the series left off in book 1. And the children are all orphans who have become MI6 operatives. So it takes place in Britain, and everything that they do is highly classified because they're children and they don't want the world to know that they have these like secret assets. Their lead is a man who's referred to as Mother. That's his like code name. And they have a mentor who's a lady that lives with them also, whose name is Monty. And I definitely recommend, like I said, read book 1. It's clean from what I remember, and so your readers will really enjoy it. Again, this book is clean. There's nothing unsavory in it. There's no profanity, anything like that. So book 2 opens with Brooklyn and Sydney, who are on a mission to protect 2 girls who are on this like science expedition trip. And there is an attempted hijacking. And so unfortunately, Sydney's not where she's supposed to be because she's just internally dealing with some things. And so she's not where she's supposed to be. And Brooklyn is left with having to protect the girls and get them into hiding. And ultimately, the things end well. The hijackers, they get away. But this sets up a rift that's going on between Brooklyn and Sydney. And so that also introduces one of the main themes that's going on in the book. And it's this idea of uncertainty and just not feeling or knowing your value. And so I think that's a really great theme to explore because all of our readers and we ourselves at times have felt insignificant or in competition with other people who might be doing better than us at the time. And so I think it's a really good idea and issue to really explore with your readers. So Sydney, she is one of the original operatives. So when Brooklyn comes in, and she has a lot of success in the first book, and she's left feeling insecure. She's even jealous. She admits that. She ends up saying some things that she doesn't really mean, but Brooklyn overhears. And so that's a real struggle. And then it also leads to mother sort of revealing a clue that he was only sharing with Brooklyn at first. So that kind of created some difficulties between each of the spies because they could tell and they were feeling like there was this favoritism towards Brooklyn. Anyhow, mother's wife left several years ago and he hasn't seen his children in 5 years. So this clue that is left by his wife to Brooklyn in the last book kind of leads them in a path that brings up what the new mystery is in this book that they're trying to solve. So they're trying to solve like where are his children. So they're trying to help him find them. But she also leaves a clue in the image that they get that somebody has been murdered. And you find out that this murdered person also used to work for MI6 and he was in retirement and mother knew him. And so that leads them to San Francisco and all the stuff that's going on there. So if your reader loves mystery and adventure, they're going to enjoy this story. The narration is told in third person and many of the chapters shift between locations and people. So we also see like the villain and the double agent spy is really integral in this. They're trying to figure out who is this double agent. So we do see some things from that perspective. So it's really fun and intriguing as a reader to kind of get these different things and different viewpoints and then seeing how they all come together. If you have a student who's more of a struggling reader or a child who is, that could be a little bit off-putting at first and could be a little bit difficult, but Ponti does an excellent job of making those shifts very clear, whether that's just in time or between character or where you are. So I'm fully confident that they would be able to follow along with that. Like I said, you're not going to find any questionable language or scenes in here. It's just a wonderful adventure story, mystery with theme of like belonging at its core. Sydney and Brooklyn do eventually reconcile their friendship, which is an important message for young readers. One, be careful what you see, or not what you see, but what you say. So be careful what you say. You can't take those words back. But two, admit when you're wrong, ask for forgiveness, and learn to live with the consequences. Sydney's willing to give Brooklyn space and accept the consequences if there's some things in their relationship that are going to take time to heal. Also, for children navigating and learning how to be good friends and to find good friends, this theme and message can also be powerful. And many of the city spies, again, because they're orphans, they really struggle with belonging and this idea of competition. But Sydney progresses in this belief, and eventually one of the great recurring themes in the story is that the better any of us are, the better all of us are. So it's our differences that help each of us be a better group together, and so that you don't want everyone to be the same. A small spoiler, the book does end with mother adopting them, which is a beautiful moment because all their fear like really washes away and this like sense of home becomes really real. So I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but I thought that was a really sweet way to end the story and then continuing on obviously with the other series. Biblically, there's so many great themes and parallels to draw on: the power of our words, friendships, forgiveness, what it means to be adopted and children of God. So I really enjoy this story. I think your young readers will too, or your tween teens, those who are early teens. And again, I recently uncovered that there are 3 more in this series, so they have been added to my read pile. And as soon as I get those read, I will come back with another review and let you know what I think about them.